something that I've been thinking about a lot, and because I've been like, scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, and I was just about to say Tinder, but no.
You can say it. You've been scrolling on Tinder. Haven't we all?
Judgment-free world. Judgment-free.
And I've been reading a lot of comments, and a lot of people have been posting about Black Lives Matter, and and then you all of a sudden get like these people who are like, all lives matter, or like, what about the white farmers, or what about South Africa, like
White lives matter too,
Yes, exactly. So like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that's like a blind spot for people? Is it like white privilege? Is it just ignorance?
All of the above.
Okay, so you go for it, Mo.
Yeah, so pretty much it's like a combination of different things. Like ignorance, definitely, for sure. I think people, because they don't really, maybe don't pay attention to these things, or don't really know about these things very much. They tend to just kind of detract from it and don't quite understand why people are so angry and people are so frustrated as well. It's also, I think, just maybe being a bit defensive sometimes too, where maybe you just don't want to maybe acknowledge your potential role in systemic racism. So you prefer to just kind of take away from it and deviate and say, okay, well, what about, other people as well? What about like our lives too? Like we're suffering too. Like, what about the rest of us? So yeah, I think it's definitely just a combination of all of that, really.
Yeah. What do you think, Danny? As a white person.
This might come across a bit, controversial, I guess. But this is the honest truth of my feelings. Before educating myself on all of this, on Black Lives Matter, on racism, on everything that's actually really going on in the world, and not just being oblivious in my mind as to what's really going on, I did feel like, what about white lives? Like, why is it always Black lives, or why isn't it all lives matter? Because all lives do matter. So I don't understand why we're getting left out. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I do feel that, education is a big key to realizing that the statement all lives matter or white lives matter too is so wrong right now. Especially because, again, not before I educated myself, white people, including myself, don't know what white privilege actually is. We just feel that it's not a nice word to say. It's rude. Like, how can you say that? Like, you just don't feel nice when someone says you got white privilege, and you just feel like excluded. Like, why, especially in South Africa where BE is such a big thing, it's kind of like, for a white person, it's like, oh, we're getting excluded again. It does feel like we're just getting excluded again. It's just all about Black people. White people don't matter. But then after educating myself and realizing what white privilege is, which to me basically is, white privilege to me now basically is when decisions aren't made about you based on your race. That's it. So we've got privilege in a sense that we will never be judged by our skin color before decision is made. And realizing that that is the privilege we have, Black lives do matter, because that's so unfair that we are not judged on our skin, but other people of color are. And now it's like, yes, white lives matter, but we've never been judged for specific positions or judged in general. We're not judged based on our skin color. So does it make sense what I'm trying to say? Yeah, because we're not judged on our skin color, it's like, yes, white lives matter, but we're not at threat, if that makes sense. Where at the moment, Black lives are, because Black people are judged just on skin.
What are your thoughts, Joel?
For me, I do feel like it comes from a place of people actually, I don't want to say being ignorant, but it comes from a place where some people are ignorant. Some people want to say, yeah, all lives matter. So the thing is, like, as much as people are like, yes, all lives matter, nobody said all lives don't matter. The thing is, if all lives mattered, Black people wouldn't be targeted. Black people wouldn't be killed just because of their skin color. So I do feel like it comes from a place of ignorance, and then it comes from a place of not knowing. I mean, like, do you know how many white people are not educated, don't know? I mean, Danny had to go and educate and read and inform herself. So many of them don't know. And then some of them are, yes, are just ignorant, and some people are like, yes, all lives matter. But I feel like it comes from a background of being like seeing what you see on TV too. It's like Danny was actually saying, which is a great example about the BEE. Yes, you see BEE, so of course it's like, oh, white people are being excluded, right? I mean, some of our Black people, we don't even get those privileges of BEE, just putting it out there. But it's that thing yet, like they feel like they are being excluded. Where for Black people, for years, decades, guys, centuries, we have been excluded. So why is it so wrong to finally take a stand about our skin color and be like, you know, I'm human too, my life matters too. I want to be able to walk down the road and feel safe. I want to be able to know when a police car stops me, that I'm not just gonna be sent to jail or immediately get shot or immediately get interrogated because of the color of my skin. So yeah, that's, for me, it's about people not knowing, not being educated, and people being ignorant.